have been trained and how they've received so much training based on previous inquests. However, the officer that shot Rial was protecting himself, because that is what they do. They were trained that when someone is advancing on them with a sharp weapon, they do not consider their mental state, they protect themselves and the public. So his mother and sister testified that even after going to the hospital, the police did little to comfort them, to offer them any explanation or counseling. His mom questioned whether the officer had done anything at all to calm her son down before opening fire. She actually said, "I'm thinking, we called 911 and we told them that he had mental health issues, but no one spoke to him, no one talked to him. And when we got to the hospital, he was just a dead young black man, and they offered nothing. Families and communities dealing with this issue, and there are many families and there are many communities that are left to deal with this on their own. The funding, the investments that go into the inquests and into the investigations does not help our communities and our families. I remember one of the recommendations from the inquest into this was that we should collaborate with consumer survivor groups to identify gaps in community supports for improved management of mental health issues in the community, and we should develop more and more programs. However, when we hear news, especially in the last few months, that the funding, the billions of dollars of funding, will go into policing, enforcement, and surveillance, I think we all have to ask a few questions. So I'll end there because I'd like us to be able to talk a little bit about this, because it is important that we have these opportunities. And I really, for the number of years that I've lived and worked in this community, I look around rooms like this and I look at the people who are always coming out, and I wish that we were given more, you were all given more credit and more support to do this kind of work. It's not right what happens to our brothers, our sisters, our sons, our daughters. We didn't talk a lot about our daughters but we know what happens to some of our daughters in this community, and we have to work together. It's not right, and we've got to come together on those issues. So, as the executive director of this organization, I take it personally, but I also am committed to that despite the racism, despite the gender discrimination that happens to a lot of us, we have to keep standing up, keeping our heads high, and fight for each other. Thank you.
Yes, I think you touched on something, the last speaker, and it would be interesting to hear the perspective from all who were speaking. You indicated there are things that happen to our daughters, and oftentimes our daughters are excluded from that public engagement. So if there's something specific to this area, to this community that you feel that is affecting our daughters, I would like to hear about that.
We know that when the celebrities talk about sexual harassment and sexual violence, the world listens. But we don't know that when our young girls are violated or abused, that go to lengths, maybe because their lives are not, they don't have resources, and they have to make some difficult choices that really affect their lives. We don't talk about it. We have to have spaces to talk about it. We know that gender-based violence